Okay, guys, welcome to this week's webinar. So, what we're going to be chatting about today is launching your business and fine tuning your existing. So, I guess coming up to the end, like Q4 of 2017, we start thinking about what products we wanted to launch for next year, what way we wanted to grow our revenue, what way we wanted to grow our net margins. And that led us on a little journey of researching different sales channels that we can grow into as a company, and but also leveling up as to what's the likelihood of actually being able to get these revenues in and being able to fulfill them. Because I guess it's very easy as a company to pull a forecast and say you're going to make 2 or 300,000 at the end of the year, or whatever it is. But the reality is, probably 80%, 90% of forecasts are rubbish. They're just total, you're pulling numbers out of the sky. So we wanted to be ruthlessly honest with ourselves. Everything that we did was we were very critical towards it. I threw out more ideas out. The guys come into me with different ideas, and we just threw them out the window, saying, "No, that's not a runner for us. It's too much away from what we're comfortable doing, and this, that, and the other." So we went through a good process, and we figured out, where was our target market, which was the biggest market, where could we find our audience online, how can we tap into them online. And by the time we got to the end of, if we were looking at 4 or 5 different markets, we stacked these all out in a spreadsheet, and we incrementally use data to tell us which had the best likelihood of succeeding as a new venture for the company. So once we did that and we had all the data, it was a case of ranking the data, which one is the biggest likelihood of being able to start a new brand, being able to get customers quickly, being able to take cash in quickly, and being able to turn a profit quickly as well. Off that, we then look at to see which ones would be the most profitable out of the whole lot of them, because you guys know it. If you're going to work, you want to work in the most profitable, high margins business, and that's why you've seen the numbers that I stuck up yesterday. So once I did that, and we figured out what we were going to do, the next thing we did was I sat down with me and Michelle sat down, and we worked out, okay, what's the marketing plan? How can we move these businesses forward pretty quick? And the result of that is pretty much what we have, what I'm going to show you guys today. And the thing about it is, and it surprised me, even, there's so many bells and whistles out there, and people, get information overload, and they're always looking for this silver bullet, and they're always looking for the next way to grow their business. But the reality is, when you get 2 or 3 channels covered off for your business online, it can have an absolute profound effect on your business. And we haven't even fully developed all these yet. We've only really started into it at the start of the year. And already we can see the effect of that we're getting in the sales. We're getting in daily consistent leads. We're making more changes to increase the leads. So it's having a great effect. In regards to the reason I never mentioned, and just to be very upfront and clear about it, the reason I never mentioned the domain names, and I probably never will, is we actually have a competitor who's literally carbon copying every website we throw out there, about 6 months to 12 months behind us, and everything that we do, they end up doing as well. So we have taken it upon ourselves that only people that's going to know about a lot of the different brands within DG Ventures is people who work within it. We're not going to be going sticking it up on the DG Ventures website that this is one of our brands. We've went to even for some of the brands that we know that are going to be very strong. We've set up a satellite office in Dublin. We've registered a new address in Dublin, so it can't actually be traced back to us if this person tries to do their due diligence. And this is a problem, because when people see having different successful businesses, they will copy you. And I suppose, they're going to do their market research. And if I'm telling you we're in a highly profitable business, for all I know, one of you guys could try swipe it. So, with that being said, I'm just going to get into this and show you the three main things that we did to really get these websites, these brands off the ground. So obviously your first thing is you have to get your website in order. And I'm not going to delve into that because you all know it. If you don't have a website online, you're going nowhere. So we have an internal development team. They pull that together quite quickly for us. And with a lot of the stuff that we do is we tend to put in the least amount of work to get the website up, because we want to start generating revenue as quick as possible. When we went live with one of these websites, there were spelling mistakes on it. The logo was wrong on it. The logo was actually spelt wrong. It was missing the plural. And there's a host of other problems. But I just told the guys, push it live, start getting leads into it, and that's just something that you guys, you need to, when you're looking to launch into new product lines, you need to do this. Just push the product forward, get it out there, and start getting leads in, and you can fix everything else once you have the leads coming in. Okay, so I guess the main thing and what drives everyone's business is the leads and getting them leads in. So, what were the steps that we took to start getting in the leads? So I'm just going to ask the question to see just, what do you guys think? So what do you think were the different channels that we went straight into to start driving traffic to these websites? So who's going to give me a guess? I think it's pretty obvious we've Google Ads. Give me another one. We have Facebook ads. We have Facebook. We've one more. So that's two of them. And we've one more, which is probably the biggest generator, but it's more long term. It takes about 6 months. And SEO. There we have it. So for our target market for these products, the AdWords, Facebook, and SEO were the dominant players that we had to really optimize for. And that tends to be the case for a lot of consumer-faced products in Ireland, that you have to really tap into your AdWords, you have to tap into your Facebook marketing and your SEO. And so I'm going to kind of go through just the steps that we did to achieve that. And I'm going to try to lay this document out in such a way that you guys can go off and pretty much do what we did and to see what were the results for you guys, okay? So the first step we did was we set up our AdWords. We set up our AdWords, and the reason we set up our AdWords is because that's an instantaneous traffic coming to the website. Okay, we can set up an AdWords campaign now, and we can have traffic coming to the website in 2 weeks. We're actually, and maybe I'll give you more. If you'd like, we're launching another brand out in America, and we actually only got this idea about 7 days ago. So I'll try keep you guys in the loop of that brand because it actually has massive potential, and we missed it on our market research last year. So just to give you an idea of what I did with that was the marketing company that supports us in the US, they told us about one of the product lines that we have is not actually available in the US. And I said, okay, let's spin up a website and let's test this market. So just with that being said, what we did between last week and this week, the domain was registered, the website was developed. I have to go on a call now after this with our programmer to see what's the update of the website. The content is being written at the moment. So by the end of next week, we will have our AdWords campaign set up. We'll have parked €2,000 to test this campaign to see how quickly can we push forward with this as a business. I have really high hopes for it. All the research that we've done so far has pointed in the right direction that this is going to be a rock solid business. And if it kicks off, we'll probably have to open up an office in the US pretty quick. So the first thing we did then, bringing back to the AdWords, okay, and exactly what we did was to get this up running pretty quick, we have an agency that we use although we can do AdWords internally ourselves, it's not a good use of our time. And we tend to be resource hungry. So we at certain times we just do not have enough resources to get our projects up off the line. So we're a big user of Upwork. Our account, we're probably upload new projects on a daily basis. So the first thing we did was to get the marketing up and running was we posted on Upwork. Okay. So we went to Upwork and we told them, this is our website, this is our target market, this is what we're looking to achieve, and all the AdWords consultants on Upwork start bidding for our business. So we posted on Upwork, okay? The next thing we did, once we had that one done, we set up our AdWords account. Okay, so we set up a separate AdWords account. We made it unique from our other AdWords accounts, so we don't be mixing them. So we're not, mixing up our budgets, and it's mixing up our data, so we don't know what way people are converting on the website and what our total spend is. Our next one that we did, so in order for us to acquire a business online, and this is something that I always harp on about, what's the one thing that you need to know to acquire a customer online? And you have to have this very much honed in, and it's the one thing that you need to know in order to kind of scale out a company. Can anyone hazard a guess on that? What's the one thing you need to know to acquire a customer online and to scale out a business? In regards to advertising. So I'm getting in a few chats, but in regards to advertising, paid advertising. You have to know, so I'm getting a few different answers. So the main thing and on is on the money, so the cost to acquire them. Yeah, you need to know your CPA, what you're willing to pay to acquire a customer. Okay, so for one business, we set a target of €20. We are willing to pay €20 per lead on Google AdWords to acquire a customer, because we know we're going to convert that customer, and it'll cost us between 80 and €100 to convert that customer. Okay, that gives us a conversion rate of between 1 and 4 and 1 is 5. We know we'll fall in about that mark based on the market research we have done on this. The other business we did as CPA of, let me think, which one was that? So the other one, the CPA is about €9. And the reason it's €9 is because the conversion rate is a lot lower for this particular type of service-based business. It tends to be anything between 7 and 11%. Now we have to get them numbers dialed in as of yet, but yeah, between 7 and 11%. So our third task really was, working out the CPA. To acquire a customer. And once we know this number, we can then give that to that's our KPI. So that's our KPI for the consultant, for the freelancer, for the KPI for AdWords freelancer. And we can then give that to them and say, okay, this is the KPI CPA that we want you to achieve for this business. There you go. Go get it. Let's have a calls to keep an eye on this. Okay. So once we had that figured out and we knew we needed to install that, the next really important thing to do, and it's an obvious one, is to install your Google AdWords tracking code. because if you don't have that installed on your website, you're making guesses. You don't actually know if you're going to be able to achieve the CPA that you need to get in order to acquire that customer. Okay. The next thing we do after that is you have your AdWords installed, you know your CPA, your website is live, your forms are up, all that jazz. Next thing is, oops, let's put that in silent. The next thing we need to do is we need to launch it. So we launch our AdWords campaign. Okay. We launch our AdWords campaign, we put it out there, we say, okay, what are we willing to put on the table in order to get this off the ground? And it could cost you on AdWords, and this is the big thing where a lot of business owners fall short. You have to be willing to sacrifice a certain amount of money in order to find your customer. And initially, when we started one of the campaigns where our KPI was €20 per CPA. When we started that, it was actually €41 CPA for the first week. It was double what our target was. But actually, since then, we've actually reined that back down. And I actually never got an update on it this morning, but I'm actually getting updates every morning on what our daily CPA is, so I can keep an eye on it and I can chat over and back to the company just to keep them on their toes. Because if you let these guys off to just to do whatever they want, they'll just they'll manage your account, but how actively they manage it is another story. So what tends to work with a lot of these freelancers is you need some sort of ongoing communication with them and really hold them accountable to what they need to achieve. And then obviously your next part is you watch your AdWords closely. Okay. So how I actually do this is we have a project management software, and every day our freelancer gets a reminder that they need to log in and they need to put in what yesterday's CPA was. And I will keep an eye on this every day for the first 2 to 3 weeks until I'm comfortable that the freelancer is all over and we're in our targets. After that, I'll start checking it once a week with them. I'll do a quick call with them and keep an eye on it. And once I'm happy with it, I just get someone else in the company to do it, to keep an eye on it and keep communicating with them. Okay. So you can see that I've kind of went from setting up the campaign to kind of being a bit more hands-on, to getting on top of it, to stepping away from it more and more and more until I'm at the point where I can step away from the campaign completely and it's not, somewhat reliant on me. So has anyone, launched an AdWords campaign in their business and had a success with it, or have any guys launched your AdWords campaign but you didn't get the results you initially had achieved, or sorry, you would have liked to have achieved? Have we any big AdWords users on the call? Okay, so good for ranking, but not big at all. Yeah, so guys, if you're not using AdWords, I'd really think you should give it a shot. Because it's a direct source of traffic for okay, so sorry, just reading some of these comments. So yeah, it's a direct source of traffic for your company in order to really start going. So we've mixed reviews. Some people launched it, didn't really work. Other people launched it, they're gotten good leads. Other people found it successful for ranking. This is actually something that we found recently ourselves as well. So that's getting your AdWords campaign set up. Okay, once you have your AdWords campaign set up, is AdWords, although it converts quite high, because people are typing in the keywords that they're typing in the keywords of what they want to pop up in Google. They have high customer intent, they have high commercial intent. There's a good likelihood they're actually going to buy. So the problem with this is if when the convert, you'll get an okay conversion rate, but a lot of people won't convert on your website, and that's where you have to kind of have this loop that's trying to bring them back in. And there's a few different ways you do that now. Over the last month, we've literally honed in on all the different strategies to do this within Facebook, and they're actually starting to work really well from us. And Facebook is after putting in a lot of really cool features now in the last year that's allowing you to pull your leads out of it. So what happened to me when I started this call, or what started my phone started ringing, okay? And if I was researching a website there, my phone started ringing, I'd get up off the chair, I'd probably walk around my office here in circles, I'd be on the phone, I'd completely lose track of where I was at in regards to researching that website. I'd probably just jump back on the computer, and I'd click off the website, or I'd go off and this person would say, I need you to send me that email. I'd log back in and I'd send them that email. I'd completely lose my train of thought where I was, and you've just lost me as a customer. That probably happens about 10 to 15% of your customers. And I think we all know this, when you're sitting down, you have so many distractions between Facebook, chat, phone, social media, whatever it is, everyone is fighting for your attention. So what we did then, in order to kind of recoup all our AdWords traffic, which can be quite expensive, is we set up our Facebook retargeting campaign. And the Facebook retargeting campaign really has been the one thing that allowed us to. Sorry, now my spelling is atrocious when I'm typing. It's the one thing that really allows us to pull back in the leads, to loop them back in, to get them converting them, to give us a second bite at the apple, to give us a second chance to get them in as a customer. So sorry guys, if you're popping up some questions here, I'll open up the lines at the end, and we can go through any things with you, okay? So in order to launch the Facebook retargeting campaign, what do you think were the steps we went through to do that? And to launch a solid AdWords or retargeting campaign that, we're not just retargeting with one ad. Can anyone hazard a guess? What's the different retargeting strategies we use to do that? Okay, so we've link, CPA, okay, straight to website. So we did a number of these, okay? So the one thing you have to understand about Facebook is Facebook do not want people to leave their website. If you are trying to send people over to your website, it's going to cost you that bit more. And at this time last year, and this time 18 months ago, that strategy worked quite well. Traffic was cheap. But since then, Facebook has really matured as a company, and as a result, so has their cost of advertising. So what we try and do now is actually keep people on Facebook, but we still want to get their details and follow up with them. Okay, so the first thing obviously we do is we install the Facebook pixel code. Okay, so that's a given. That's like putting in your AdWords code. We need to get that in to track what we're looking to do. Okay, then we create a Facebook retargeting audience. We go into Facebook. So for guys, so for some users asking the tactics of how you actually do this, I did a video before on how to install a Facebook code and some Facebook training that covered all this. So if you want to just go back over and look at that training rather than me covering it, again, just in respect to the other people who already know it. So, and the next item, our third one. Okay, we did the run-of-the-mill stuff. We created a retargeting campaign, sending people back to the website. And this is the one thing that Facebook don't really want us to do. They tend to charge us that bit more for it, but we do it anyways because we're willing to take on that CPA. We're willing to spend that bit in advertising. We know it's that bit more expensive to do that. But it's just one of those channels we want to tick that box and make sure we're doing everything we can in order to get that customer. So the next one that we do then is, and one that's actually working really well for us, is we create a lead opt-in form. So create a lead opt-in form. And this, there's loads of different ways you can do this. And what the lead opt-in form is just getting people to give you their name, email address, and phone number. If they didn't get to do that on your website and they got distracted, you're now giving them the opportunity to do that. And you can retarget them on Facebook based on the product they were looking at, the service they were looking at, whatever it was that they were looking at. You retarget them, looking for them to fill out their details on the lead opt-in form. So this, this is working well for us. We're pulling in a lot of leads now over the last, probably in the last 10 days since getting this up and running. And the leads that are coming in off this for one of the campaigns are only like €1.50 per lead. And they're €1.50 per lead because they've already seen us on AdWords, but they've already been on our website. They're somewhat warm to us. We're just trying to loop them back in to have another shoot at them, really. Okay. Our next one then, for some people who are just not comfortable, if to fill out all their details. So the lead opt-in form, the two things you have to do with this. I suppose, to take it another step back, what's better about the lead opt-in form over sending people to your website is there's a lot more clicks and there's a lot more scrolling to send people to your website, get them to look at the product again, re-educate them, and get them to fill out the contact form. Whereas when you do it inside Facebook, it can be done in about 2 or 3 clicks without having to scroll very far, that you have their opt-in details again. Okay, and then to take this another step further, and how we can further kind of push out in this, is create a retargeting campaign for Messenger. Okay, so we can retarget people with Messenger, so people can start a conversation with us immediately. They can click Messenger, they're straight in, and they can be chat to any one of our sales staff within 5 minutes if we get them between, kind of office hours, 9 to half 6, 7 o'clock. That's one that we're optimizing at the moment, that we want to work a bit better. Some, small results, nothing to shout about as of yet. But the problem we had with that one was we weren't showing it to enough of our audience to make it effective. So we made some edits the other day, like I was saying, and I think that's going to be a big one for us, because it just it allows the conversation to happen so much easier, and allows them to happen on the Messenger where they are a lot. Okay, so that's what we did just for the Facebook retargeting campaign. And this, we didn't even delve into targeting new traffic. This is purely just a retargeting campaign. Okay, I'm not even going to go into how you can target new customers and cold customers on your AdWords, on your Facebook campaign. Leave that for another day. If all you did was this, I guarantee you would get a lot more results out of it. Okay, and then the last one, and what we did was we did the SEO. Okay, and the SEO is the SEO is the long-term play, and this is making sure that you're ranked for the different keywords. So when we did this, okay, we didn't launch our AdWords traffic until it would have been the very start of the year. It's pretty much the 2nd or 3rd of January. Okay, we built it out before Christmas, but we did the go button ready to go for January. But for AdWords, for SEO, in order to get the maximum benefit out of that, it takes that bit longer. But your on-page SEO is quite important, and that's something, when you get that right, and you use it effectively, you can start pulling in leads straight away. And the funny thing is, what we actually found about this was we did the SEO on the website it's kind of the first week of January, but we did some of it in December as well. So, and this was as simple as just do the on-page SEO. And for anyone that's not fully in sync with that as to how you do it, I did a video before on how we do this, and how we rank the different websites. This had an almost immediate effect on the website, to the point that I was only speaking to one of my managers and I said, I need to go back and research exactly what happened with that on-page SEO. Because for one of the websites, we made, I did about 2.5 hours of work on it, doing all the different on-page SEO. And within a week, we'd pulled 6 leads off that website from organic search. Sorry, not within a week, within 10 days. And we pulled in the leads, and off the back of that, we went on to page 1 of keywords that were, for one of them, we went up to number 7. We jumped from 14 to number 7, and the traffic volume for that was like 210 searches per month. And this, I like, completely, blew me away. I was like, wow, I've never done SEO like that and have us allowed to hit us page 1 so quick. Like, this all happened. Like, this domain was probably only registered in October, maybe. We didn't, although the domain was registered, there was no website went on it probably until mid-November to the start of December. So for something like that to happen, it was quite good. And I think a lot of the reasons from that was we were sending traffic to the website from AdWords. And because when Google realizes that you're paying them for AdWords and that you're sending them traffic from other sources, they tend to rank your website that bit more than if you were to not have any AdWords traffic and you're just trying to use our organic search. Google are going more and more kind of offline sort of SEO, in the sense of, if you have alternative traffic sources coming to your website, it tends to push you that bit further in the rankings. And a guy that I'm in a mastermind group with, he recently showed me a case study that he did, and this is specifically a SEO mastermind group. He did a case study on trying to rank a keyword by sending email blasts from his newsletter to that page. Okay, so he put up 2 different pages, both of them for the same keywords, but for one of them, he started sending email. He sent an email out to his whole email list, and he got them all to go over to on the page, and everyone went over to the page and they read the article. They stayed on it. It was a good article. They stayed on it for like 40 seconds, 1 minute 30, whatever it was. And because so much traffic went to that page, they stayed on the page. They engage with the page. Google ranked that page higher, a lot higher than the other one. I can't remember the exact number it was ranked on within Google, but it worked. It worked. Just doing the on-page SEO. Your next part then after that is doing your off-page SEO. So do your off-page SEO, and this is primarily your link building. Okay, that's primarily what that is, doing solid link building. And again, I did a really good video on that a few months back, so it's one to go back and look at if you're not familiar with SEO. I have a big passion for SEO because on all these traffic channels, because ultimately these are the things that drive your business. Like, traffic is what drives your business. If you can, it's no different than Facebook targeting, AdWords, SEO. It's like moving a shop from Mullingar up to Grafton Street. That's essentially what you're doing when you're trying to funnel in traffic, online traffic. You're getting good at these different strategies, and you're going to funnel them in to your website. You're grabbing that captive audience and you're making them click on your website to buy your products or service or whatever it is. So guys, that there is pretty much what we did to launch them businesses, to get sales, to get revenue, to get profit, to get leads. That was pretty much it. We haven't even started the link building campaign for that yet. Um, but that will be the next step. This is something probably I'm going to do, and probably won't be next week. It'll be the week after that, and I'll hire in a person probably in India and Philippines, and they'll actively manage the link building for us. It'll probably cost us about 80 to €100 a week, but they'll be out working 40 hours a week doing the training that I asked them to do in order to get the link building. So I know by the end of the year the SEO will, we'll be up fighting for them top three positions for all our top keywords. I have good confidence in that as well. So guys, I want to hear any questions that you guys might have in launching something like this. It comes across quite simple. All it is, print this out, put it on your desk, and just go through it and cross them out and see, what it is that you can achieve in your business. So if you have any questions on it, please shout. I'd love to hear them. So. So how much is in the difference going back to your website? So David, I don't fully get that in what you're actually asking me there. How much is in the difference going back to your website? If you want to explain that a bit better. So Derek, do you include Facebook ad cost in CPA number? So what we do is we actually we have a marketing budget. So we don't. The answer is no. And what we do is we have a marketing budget, and we will say, okay, if we're willing to spend, let's say, like €1,000 a month or €500 a month, we'll allocate about 20 to 25% of that for our retargeting. Now, although I'm saying these percentages, it's different for every business as well, and you kind of have to figure out what works best for you guys in order to get the most. But that's what you'd be looking to do. You'd be looking to put out a certain amount to Facebook retargeting just to loop people back in. Okay, so the answer to the question is no, we don't include in the CPA. What we do is we include it in our overall budget. How long does the retargeting go back? So the retargeting can go back 180 days. And the one thing that you should be doing with retargeting is split testing it. And you're split testing it in such a way that, see, okay, you can retarget an audience for the last 30 days, last 60 days, 90 days. We don't really go back 180 days. And when you split test them out, more often than not, you'll see the people who've seen the being on your website in the last 30 days, they're obviously going to convert a lot better. Okay, if it's the 30 to 60 days, you might have to give them a stronger incentive to fill out their details, or you might have to do a bit of education. So normally when we get them that far out is we start offering a discount to try and get them back onto the website. And then when you're going 60 to 90 days, you start offering them a stronger discount. Now, more so, if you're going from 60 to 90 days, you've probably lost the sale. So you're looking to bring that back down into a shorter time frame to see, what incentives can you use. The further you go out from your retargeting campaign, the more incentives that you need to be pushing them in order to convert them as a sale. And we're working on something pretty cool at the moment. We're doing for one of the businesses, we're doing a full follow-up campaign, and the follow-up campaign has emails, so it gets different follow-up emails. Then we have a few text messages built into it, and what we're doing now is we're looping in voicemails, and this is pretty much doing all the work for our salespeople. So I can have a mass broadcast of voicemails, and I could go out and goes, hey, Dean here, just checking in to see, did you get my quote? If you want to give me a call back on 087 669 2168 or whatever it is, and that just goes out automated. And it sounds that I rang you specifically, but I didn't. It's fully automated that we have in the back end. So that's having a really good retargeting campaign. So do you watch how you write content with keywords because of the way Google rates them? Yeah, sure do, Derek. Extremely important. And it's it's something that I went through in the video before on the SEO. And definitely, guys, like I guess the one thing that you might not realize about the SEO training I give out is I'm in a mastermind group about SEO, and that training that I give out, I guarantee I could get people to pay 5 to 10 grand if I could show them a roadmap on how to rank #1 in Google for different keywords. Because the mastermind group I'm in, there's guys building out websites. They're using the exact same strategies as that, and they're ranking websites up #1 in Google and selling them on for hundreds of thousands of profit. And that is not an exaggeration. Um, it's a wicked system. It works really good. So if anyone really starts getting in there and start using that, I'd love to hear your questions because I'm a big SEO geek and I really keep up to date on it. So have a look over that if you guys are looking to rank your website #1 in Google. So how much do you pay for AdWords and Upwork? So David, what I do with this here is, okay, it depends on the business and it depends what I'm looking to achieve out of it. We have freelancers that we use for AdWords, and they charge us. The guys in America charge us €100 an hour. It's either €100 or $100 an hour, but they are shit hot good. They are the best of the best of the best. And if I'm going out looking for, if I really want to take over a marketplace, and if I want to do, quite well in it, and if I know AdWords is going to be the #1 traffic sources, I don't want some guy that thinks he knows how to use AdWords working on my campaign. I want the best in the world working on the campaign, okay? Because I know I'm giving the business the best opportunity to get up off the ground then. And that's really important. Is if you're going into a business and you think there's a lot of potential on it, you need to have the best people working on it. Now, that's one answer to your question. Okay. The other answer is I get it that not everyone can afford €100 an hour for to pay someone to do their AdWords campaign. They might be very apprehensive about doing that. So the other one that you can do as well is just use the Indian companies, the Philippine companies, throw them up there. They'll charge you $10, $15 an hour, and they'll set up your AdWords campaign for you. They'll roll it out. But when you're using the cheaper companies, you tend to have to watch them a lot more, and they'll try bill you for a lot more hours than they actually should be billing you for. So with the AdWords company that I use for one of the websites, because I knew it'd work, and because I knew it'd work well, but because the margins weren't there to pay someone extremely good, and because there's not enough volume, I said I'm going to use someone cheap in this. We used a girl in India. She's charging us, I think it's $13 an hour, and she originally wanted $400 a month to manage our campaign, and she said I need to do this and I need to do that, blah blah blah. I said not a chance. All you're getting is 200. Like it or leave it. That's more than enough to cover you to do all your work for the month. I know AdWords, so just get on with it. And she is managing it out now, and she is doing a good job. So you just kind of have to watch them in that sense. So hope that answers your question, David. So will you upload a document of bullet points? Of course I will, Sinead. I'll stick that up straight after this, and I'll make it into little check marks here. So we've no check boxes. Yeah, I changed that. So definitely print this out, put it on your desk, set aside a few hours, and just go through it. Tick, 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 cross, 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 just to try and get it implemented in your business. Okay. So did your friend just send email blast to one page he wanted to rank for? Exactly. He just sent it to one page. He put the link in the email. They clicked on it. They went over to the page. Google registered the traffic as email traffic. knew it was like some sort of a legit website because he's a traffic from other sources, and gave a preference over another website that hasn't any traffic coming to it. So I hope that answered your question. So this was between keeping on Facebook. So what David has just asked me a good question actually. What is the price difference between? So David, is what is it the price difference between going to the website and converting against converting within Facebook? Is that what you're asking me? Right, okay. I'll be honest with you, I actually don't know them numbers off the top of my head. Um, so yeah, it is a good question. I don't think it'll be much by now. It'll probably take us a week to dial in them numbers a bit better. But the lead opt-in forms are a tiny bit more expensive than I feel what they should be. Um, we were paying like €3 €3 per lead opt-in form before. But if I was to do it on, and this is just knowing what way our website works, the average click on Facebook tends to be 30 cent, okay? And the average conversion rate on this particular website at the moment is going to be about 12%. So we know 12. So if we were to say 10%, we'd be getting 10 clicks to get one, so it'd be 250. Yeah, so about 250, but that's not right. That doesn't make sense because that's too cheap. I know well it's more expensive for that. So I actually don't know the numbers off the top of my head, Dave, to be honest with you. But it is something I'll look into and come back to you maybe on the next call when we do something like this. So our next question. So what Owen asked me is question, even before starting marketing, I have some questions regarding legalities. Have company registered, been authorized where applicable before you can start testing the market? Now, this is debatable, okay? I tend to be a bit more on the risky side, being quite honest, and I will test something very quickly and I mightn't you're asking to register the company and stuff. I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't do the only thing I do is throw up a website to test the market. What's the quickest? What's the cheapest? And the guys in the office do often just laugh at me with these mad ideas that I come out with. But it's known as the way in our office now. They know, what we want to do is we want to get the product out to the marketplace as quick as possible. We want to generate eyeballs to the website, and then we'll go from there. So what I tend to do is I will I will filter it into DG Ventures. I won't register as a separate business. I'll just register as a .com trade name initially because .com you can register in 10 minutes. .ie takes about 3 weeks. Um, we'll set up the website. We'll buy a WordPress template. You buy a WordPress template for like $40. You could have a website up in 2 days and then do all your content. Could be another 2 days after that. So you could be testing a product by the end of the week, and that's what it's all about. Is trying to roll out these different tests to see what's going to work. So once we start to get some momentum on the business and it starts making some sales, then we'll start look, okay, let's register the .ie, let's register the domain names for these so other people can't copy it. Let's, once if the business goes up and it starts bringing in some steady revenue, then we go, okay, let's start looking at the risks in this business. Do we need to put this out as a separate limited company? Can we hold it within our mother company of DG Ventures? So it's really whatever is going to be the fastest way for you to get into the market on. So I hope that answers your question. If not, just follow up below. So your CPA, Sinead asks, how do you cost out your CPA? So Sinead, I did a video on this before. We worked it all out on a different spreadsheet that's within the training document. So, and that what that document actually has is the one I showed everyone for doing out forecast for the year. So definitely go back and have a look at that if it's not something that you've seen before, because that training alone, like that's pretty much what we did for the forecast last year. We did something along the lines of that, and that'll really help you with. So how do you, so David, I don't know what you mean when you say can you recommend? I don't know what you want a recommendation for. Um, what are the requirements before starting using Google AdWords? I.e., you need to be a registered company. Um, no, you don't. You can set up an AdWords campaign with your own personal credit card instantaneous. To make Google make it pretty easy, and I know all you guys that know this as well to a point, but them guys want to get you in, get an AdWords campaign up and start sucking money out of your credit card as quick as possible. So it's no, you don't need to have a company set up. The only thing though that you need to take into consideration, and to be honest, don't even think like this too early, is you can claim back the VAT if you are a registered company, but setting up and getting sorted with your VAT number, that can slow things down as well. So don't be afraid just to pay that extra 23% or whatever it is that they're charging at the moment, or with all their different tax hiding systems and whatnot. Um, don't let that stop you. Don't let that slow momentum down of testing a product. Just throw it out there, test it, get things moving forward. That's what it's all about. It's not about letting all these little small things slow you down. So David, or sorry, Derek, what's your strategy for looking at new business that might work? Not a short answer, I know. Um, Probably best I cover this in another call, Derek. It's there is actually a lot to it, and like what you're really looking at, the main thing that you're looking for is, um, let me see. I'm thinking back on a spreadsheet. You want to see what's the keyword volume online, okay? So how many people are searching for the keyword, the product or service that you want to go into, okay? Once you know that, then you can work out based off that if the market is worth going into, okay? And how you work out if the market is worth going into is you can work out based on keyword volume, what's the likelihood of you either paying Google AdWords or SEO to be on the top of Google to get that traffic and to convert that sale. So my thinking is a bit scattered on it at the moment because I'm not as in tune with it as I should be. I do have spreadsheets on this that kind of does all the thinking for me, and just gives it pretty much, it spits out a number and it tells you, whether this is worth doing or not. And funnily enough, actually, one of the things I was doing this morning, because I know I told a lot of you guys that I do a lot of property investing now, is I spent this morning actually I have a spreadsheet, and we look at different property around Ireland, and this is kind of the same as a business model. And what the spreadsheet will do, it'll tell us whether that property is worth buying or not, based on the returns we're going to get out of it. So we pretty much we zap in how much the property costs, what it's going to cost to renovate, how much we can get rent out of it per month if we sublet out each one of the rooms, what's going to be the overheads on it, and it'll tell us everything at the bottom that we need to know of. Okay, it's either yes if it's above, if we can make more than 15%, net profit based on the money that we've invested into this as a company, it's a yes for us. If it's below 15%, we cross it out and we don't go near it. We move on to the next one. So um, if any guys, that's something I might do with you in the future, maybe on another call. It's not really digital marketing stuff, but if you get property working for you, it's a great passive income. If you have money for a deposit of a house, it's something I've invested a lot of in training now over the last 2 years, and it's really starting to take momentum for us to the point where we're registering out a new company for it because it's working quite good for us, and it's profitable, and plus we're in a great economy to do it as well. Okay, so Derek, I'm going to follow up with that again in the future, just to go through the exact workings of what we do to know whether a business is worth going into or not. So yeah, Sen, this approach is the exact same. So he asked me, is this approach the same for product and service business? It's the exact same. So at the moment, we are in the process of negotiating a joint venture with a company that does. I actually won't even say what product they do, and they're primarily an e-commerce website, and they're really lacking in their digital marketing, but in regards to product sales, they're the biggest company in Ireland on the high street, but online they're nowhere to be found. And we're going on a 50-50 deal with them that we will do all the digital marketing. We'll rank them in webs. We'll rank them number one. We'll do their AdWords. We'll do their Facebook. But they have to manage the warehouse. They have to do the picking, the packing, all that. And what I did with them to kind of made to open their eyes and was I suppose the magnet that drew them in was I did a forecast based on one. I did a forecast based on their competitor. And then two, I did another forecast based on gaps that I think their competitor was missing out on. So we targeted the biggest online e-commerce website in Ireland that sells this product. I found out all the rankings. I was able to work out then roughly what sort of profit margins, gross and net, that they'd be making per month based on some fundamentals within business. And off the back of that, I gave them a 12. We did a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year forecast to say, okay, because this business is going to be heavily driven on the SEO, and we know that the SEO won't really take effect until probably the end of year one and pushing into year two, and it'll really start. Uh, and it's after year three when you start pulling out of SEO and you stop investing as much money in it that the profits really start falling to the bottom line. So it's definitely the same for a product and a service based business. So David, if you want to send me just a private SMS on just what you said there, and I'm happy to have a chat with you on it. Um, so hi Dean, I want to customize my email. Who is the best provider to go with? Yeah, so the best we find Google is the best. Now the only thing about Google that um no, do you know what? I'm not even going to go into that because I'll go off on a rant about it. It's just the way they're watching everything you do and ads and whatnot, and just a few other things that they're keeping an eye on in spreadsheets. Uh, yeah. So Donna, your question is, yeah, we find Google the best. So, Owen just asked me, do you find there's a major issue around testing, i.e., gathering leads but not having an immediate product deliver it? Yes, I do, but it's a great position to be in. Um, I remember, and we've actually done it. We've done it this year, and it does cause a bit of upset. We can annoy some customers, we can annoy some employees, but we have to get businesses off the ground. We have to keep pushing forward. So I give you a prime example. When we launched a business, and this was kind of one of the first things that we this played itself out. When we launched a business in 2012, I think it was 2013, it was this whole bubble soccer business. All these guys with the balls running around, hitting each other, and we said, okay, that'd be great for the stag business. And we looked it up, and the balls cost 4,500 to buy 10 of them. We'd have to bring someone in. We'd have to do the train and all that jazz. There's going to be a whole another infrastructure there. And I was like, well, look, we don't know how well this is going to work. Um, let's just stick it up on a website and see, do people start biting on it. So we stuck it up on the website, and I'll never forget the next day, one of the sales guys come in and goes, I'm after taking a booking for that. What are you going to do? And I said, that's grand, order the balls, and we'll get them in. And then he came in the following day, and he was in a bit of a panic this time. And he goes, I'm after getting another sale from that. You have to get the ball rolling this. So once we got 2 sales in, we knew there was an immediate demand for that product. And based on the feedback that we were getting, so we rolled something out pretty quick. And you will roll something out pretty quick, and you will be willing to clock in the hours when you know a product is going to work to get it up off the ground. So hope that answers your question, Owen. So how often do you look at increasing traffic to a funnel compared to deepening the funnel? Good question. So I probably look at it a lot, and that's not a specific answer, but there's certain businesses that you're probably better off just wiping your hands of after you've kind of hit your market cap. So with some of the businesses that we have, they'll be a bit more on the older, they're with us a few years, and we've kind of hit our market cap. We can't really grow that certain business. We have tried several times to deepen the funnel, and I think there needs to be a cutoff point where you're just willing to say, okay, I'm finished with that. We've done everything we can to pretty much, uh, increase the likelihood of our customers buying as much as possible, or trying to increase the conversion rate. Because the thing with deepening a funnel too much and getting caught too much up in it is you have to look at your return of energy, your return of time. If you're going to spend 100 hours trying to deepen a funnel, and you're only going to make an extra 10, 20 grand a year, maybe it's a case of you're better off using that 100 hours and researching a new market that you can really scale into. And if you can take, this could be a new market, you could quickly take 4% market share by ranking something in Google AdWords. By the end of that year, you could have 100,000 revenue instead of 20 or 30. So you kind of have to weigh up your decision is, okay, what is the likelihood of me deepening this funnel against, sending more traffic to it? It's you kind of have to take it a step back and say, more so than where am I best spending my time that's going to be the most profitable for the company. So hope that answers your question, Darren. So on, is it possible to target consumers in a given geographical area on Google, Facebook, ROI? It is, yeah. So you can target people specifically on Google AdWords for location based, and on Facebook as well. You charge them, you target them within a region that you're specifically looking to target. We do this in America quite a lot, that we tend to target a lot more Americans coming to Ireland that are on the West Coast. The West Coast convert a lot higher for us because they're more willing to come to Ireland rather than the East Coast. Or am I getting that mixed up? Anyways, you get what I'm saying anyways. So Porix, or what's your strategy for researching markets? So I'll do that again. Porrick, as I was saying with Derek, because there's a bit of research in it, and I can suppose I can go over a few different things for you guys, so you understand it a bit better. Okay, cool, guys. So that's the questions. Has anyone else any questions on anything we've discussed, or is there anything they'd like to ask? Please shout. Okay, so Donna, great question. Do you feel that going forward we should be looking at several businesses rather than one, multiple investments in different areas or different variations area in our expertise? I 100% agree with you. Um, until you see, this is the shiny object syndrome. Once you find one that's going to work, you have to be willing to go all guns in for that one. Okay, you have to be willing to get it off the ground until you have the resources to support you to get another one off the ground. So definitely you need to do your market research to see what's going to work. What's going to sell the most, what's going to be the most profitable, what can drive the most revenue, all that jazz. But yeah, it's no harm. Always be on the lookout for different opportunities that you can sell locally, nationally, internationally, whatever it is. Um, that you might be able to easily tap into, because you know what I've showed you here on today, that can create you €1 million business if within the Irish market. Definitely, like we've used this, we've done this purely off these channels here. We've created 3 or 4 businesses in Ireland that are all doing in the millions, that are targeting just Irish people. So um, you don't think just because I'm after throwing this in a Word document and all that jazz that there's not value to it. There definitely is a lot of value to it for getting them channels working quite well. So yeah, I guess a lot of you guys seem to want to know a bit more about market research and as to how to do market research in different products, services, businesses. Is that a fair enough comment? If you can hit me a yes, if that's something that you guys want to do, maybe our next one, our next training session. So if yes is actually tearing in for this one. Okay, that's good to know. Well, yeah, that next in 2 weeks' time we'll do our market research, and we can, you guys can. I'll do a few live bits. I go through the different spreadsheets, and you guys can go off after, plug in your numbers, upload it to group, and everyone can spitball to see what they think is a good product. And you don't have to put in what your idea is. All you need to know is the volume, likelihood of sale. I can give you some numbers, be it whether if it's a service-based business, I'll know the number, and if it's an e-com website, I'll know the number of conversions you'll get in the website based on hundreds of websites that I've seen. They all seem to always being around the same anyways. Okay, so cool. We will do that call then in this day 2 weeks. So guys, any other questions? We are all happy out for this Friday morning. Okay, cool. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there for today. I hope you guys got some value from this. There is a lot of value in that Word document. Definitely, print it out and stick it up over your computer, stick it on your desk, see if there's a way that you can implement it to start driving traffic to your website, into your store, a bit of footfall, whatever it is to start pushing your business forward. Don't take it for what it is, that as in a piece of paper. Okay, so guys, thanks very much again. In this day 2 weeks we will do the market research training, and I'll show you guys the different things that we go through when we're doing our market research based on our product research. Okay, so cool guys, thanks very much for your time today. Really appreciate it, and we will talk very soon. Cheers, thank you, bye bye.